Hey guys, RJ7 here, and welcome to my video on how to create a multi-channel music track for Kart Wii. That is not the name of it, I just forgot all of a sudden. Anyways, third time's a charm in making this video, but the programs you're going to need is either BrawlCrate or BrawlBox, Audacity, which is a free audio editing program, and as of February 15th, 2024, I'm using the most recent version that I'm aware of. And this other small program that is called Multistream BRSTM GUI. Now this one, there's only one video that I found that helped me figure out how to make multi-channel tracks, and it's 14 years old. So hence why I'm making this video. Whether you came from my previous video though, or if you just found this one, welcome. I will try to go into as much detail as I can, but try not to keep you guys here too long. And other than that, let's get started. I will mention, and I hope I don't forget to turn off my display again. So on here, and I'll get to this in a second. On here, I'll put all the links to the websites I mentioned too. I'll be doing CTGP. And CTGP is one of the few tracks that have multiple tracks on them, and you can find them on wiki.talkdom.com. So, for instance, Toad's Factory, Warrior's Gold Mine, CTGP, Dry Ruins, Movie Highway, and Bowser's Castle. All those have more than two tracks, one track being mono, two tracks being steered. So, with doing CTGP that has the most on it, I may have cracked the secret to getting the tracks to loop and play where I want them. So with that being said, the track I'm going to be using I got from the same website. It's on part of the website called Kart Wii Remix Pack. It has a list of all these tracks that people have replaced them with. I don't know if I'll do all of mine, but for right now, I've taken some of these on here because they sound pretty good. Anyways, we're going to label each track. This one's on MarioWiki.com. CTGP. Each track, they labeled it as normal. So, oh wait, you can't hear that. There we go. Here, now you can. So there's normal, underwater, river. It just sounds weird. The reason why it sounds weird is because this one is always playing on top of all of them. I can't get it to time up correctly. You get the point though. So, it's split up into 4 different tracks, at least that I'm aware of. Hence why it says 8 channels, so it must mean normal, underwater, river, and WAV. 8 channels. That's the only thing I could think of. Yet we're still going to split every track into a mono track instead of leaving it as stereo. Just because. Anyways. The other thing, if you guys want to follow along and use the same track, I'm going to also have this text file on my MediaFire account with a link so you guys can download this. But I labeled the points of where I found that they loop the best and where I think the next section should start. So obviously the normal part of this track will start at the beginning at 0. I found out that the looping point for normal, once it reaches 39.184 seconds, it'll go back to 3.180 seconds. And same thing goes for like river, goes from 39 seconds to 1 minute and 15 seconds and then loops back over again. And then we'll eventually get to the part where you need to add 3.220 seconds. That I'll show you guys in a minute. So now that I turn that off, there we go. Okay, so now let's go over here and do this. So first of all, we're going to open up Audacity. After you download whichever music file you want to do, in this instance for CTGP, I'm going to do Control-Shift-I to import. I like using keyboard shortcuts, it makes it a lot faster. Now I'm going to take the one that I've already amplified before, if you followed the previous steps from the previous video, like you've done for any of the other ones. So, obviously, for this, I want to have the playback volume to go down a little bit lower, just so it doesn't blow out our eardrums. And there we go. Okay, so, first things first, before you do anything, you'll want to right-click the track, split stereo track. You'll split it into two different tracks. Just click X on one of them, and make sure you pan that. Whichever one you choose to keep, left or right, make sure you pan it to center. So, after this, we're going to use the loop notes that we have. I'll do this so I can actually see it. You're going to use the loop notes that you have. So, let's start with the normal section. So, the ending of the loop for normal ends at 39,184. So, we're going to go down to here under selection, do 39,184. Second that, no, we're not. We're going to do the beginning one, 39,184. And just add like a minute so we don't accidentally select that. Go way down there to the end. Control K deletes. Control F zooms in. If I don't think I changed those, you could actually change the keyboard shortcuts under here. It's like Edit, Preferences, and then I think it was Shortcuts. I'll export my shortcuts if you guys want to use those too. So lots of stuff I'll export. After that, we want to test to make sure the loop starts out really well for the normal part. So we'll want to go down to where it says selection at the bottom and choose 3.180. So 03180. We'll do L for loop, or you can just hit the loop button up there. After that, we'll just select all. We'll hit play and we'll see if it loops correctly. It's not going to be a perfect loop. None of what I'm doing is going to be a perfect loop at all, but I tried to make the loop as best I could. Okay, so it works properly. So, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the loop, right-click the time up here and do clear loop. So, now that that's done, we're going to export. So you can do File, Export Audio, or Control-Shift-E. Now this, you're going to want to label it, in my opinion, I would create a folder, make folders for each section of it, normal, river, underwater, and WUB. So we're going to put this in the normal one and call it normal.wav. Hit save. I'm going to hit cancel because I already did it. And then you'll hit export. That exports a normal one. So now that we did this, we could zoom back out. Control Z to undo that. Not too far. But there we go. So we undid that. Brought it back to the full track, so that way we don't have to keep closing it and open it back up again. Next section we're going to do is the river part. So we're going to go to the 115.200. So 115.200 section. Do control. No, I keep forgetting it. You always want to do the ending of it first. Or no, wait, yeah, I was right. 115.200. Somehow I ended up not doing that correctly. Control K, Control F, and we're gonna go. So yeah, I'll make sure you do on the selection part. Make sure you do the top one first, and then you just select it afterwards. This time we're gonna do it this way, so because we're gonna select the beginning of where river starts, so 39,184. So 039,184. We're going to do that to 0. There we go. We're not going to add the loop yet because technically you guys didn't know about that. So if you ever come across the beginning of a song looping, that's where you're going to learn that you'll need to do add that section on there. So now that we got river, if you guys want to make sure it loops properly, just select it. Just select anywhere over here, hit L, hit play. It should loop fine. I'm just gonna. Okay, sounds pretty good. So, I'm gonna turn off loop, clear loop. Other than that, then we'll do Control-Shift-E to export. This time we're going to call it river. So just call it river.wav. Hit save, export. There you go. And then we'll pretend I already did the other ones for the other two. So now, if you want to make sure everything sounds good together, this is how you'll find out if you need to add silence to the beginning of it. Because this program right here, the multi-stream program, is not going to, it's going to put the beginnings of the other three sections, river, underwater, and the WUB at the beginning with the normal one. It's not going to move it to the end like we're wanting. So, process on how to do this. This time you can close it, open up a new one, switch back to the one, close it. We're not going to save. Unless you want to save, that's up to you. So now, I'm going to import each file separately. So we're going to do normal. Then we're going to import another one inside of there. Go river. And then import underwater. Import again. WUB. There you go. Now, obviously, the best thing you could think of doing probably at first is just moving all of those over there to the end until they'll automatically link to each other. And just like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I believe, and we won't know this until we just trial and error through to see which one of these sections is on which part of the track. So for this instance, I'm just going to guess normal is track 1, river is track 2, underwater is track 3, and jumps is track 4. But we'll move them around if we need to. Now, if you ever want to save your project, so you don't have to redo this later, you can just go to File, Save Project. It doesn't export; it just saves it as a AUP3 file, so an Audacity project file. And by default, it'll probably make a file somewhere in libraries and all that stuff. You can choose where you want to save it. Anyways, just so this won't automatically move to the end, because we're not going to save anything on here, but if you want to make sure it sounds good, you'll need to do this individually before you put it in the program. But here's how we know it sounds pretty good. Trumpets. I think the trumpets honestly kind of add a little bit interesting to it. It might sound like it's dimming a little bit. It's not going to be perfect, but hey, at least I did. Which I think it sounds pretty cool. So. And I forgot to have a loop. Dang it. Okay, so let's do that again, except we're going to have it loop. See? I feel like it might be just a tiniest bit of a fraction off, but oh well. What did I tell you? To me, I think it sounds pretty good. But then again, I might just be weird like that. So, now you're probably trying to figure out at this point, how am I going to get it to where it will, those river underwater trumpets will start later, because normal's going to start beforehand and then it'll just sound out of whack. So, the way how you could do this, I found out going from right here to select in between normal, that starts at about, oh, if I remember right, I said 3.220 seconds, thereabouts, but now I'm starting to second guess myself on this. 3.168 seems to be about the right area. So I take it back. I'm changing that 3.168. Oh, come on. Don't you dare crash on me, you stinking Notepad++. So 3.168. So now at this point, we're going to just open up a new Audacity project file, close that one. You could choose to save that if you want, just so you can remember if you forget how much seconds sounds, but I'm going to do now. So I'm going to import the river one. So I already did that right there, but honestly, now that I did that, I'm going to have to redo that. So I'll have to do this one with you guys. So you're going to want to zoom out some, move this over. You're going to go up here, here and generate silence. And we're going to set it to 3.168, generate. I'm going to move that back over, select all. There you go. So that should be enough for all of them, since I've noticed only the tiniest fraction of a second. There was like 0.016 difference of a second between the loops whenever I cut these properly. So I don't think that's going to matter that much. Anyways, so now we're going to export. So Control-Shift-E. I'm just going to call this, I'm going to keep both of them because I'm like that. I'm going to call it river with silence .wav. Then we'll do export. So there you go. Now let's do it for the other two really quick. So Control-N to open a new one, go back to the other one and close it. No. Now we're going to do Control-Shift-I. We're going to do the underwater one. Generate silence 3.168. There we go. Make sure that does it in the proper place. Perfect. I don't think that's going to affect how loud it plays. No, I think that's just for my hearing anyways. So I think we're fine. If it affects it, then yeah, that'll be a problem. I hope it doesn't. I'm just thinking now. We'll find out. Actually, let's test to make sure that I didn't mess it up. Let's add a file. We're going to go over here to Coupa Cape, new multi-channel. Okay, so that one's at normal volume so far. How about river? Okay, good. So playback volume does not, right there, does not mess with the recording volume. So now that I got that one, Control-Shift-E, it's underwater with silence. I'm going to export that one, Control-N for new, Alt-Tab to go back to the other one, close this one, do that one, Control-Shift-I. Sorry about the camera shaking a little bit. I'm using the fold-up table. Trumpets, we're going to do Control-3, which is the shortcut thing I did on there. Move that over, generate, silence, 3.168. Move that back over. Make sure that sounds good. Obviously it will, but... Okay, so now we're going to do Control-Shift-E. Trumpets with silence. Go over here to WUB. So there we go. So now, if I do this and test it again, close this. Whenever I import all these together, and if I do that, and then, so that should all be pretty good. And there we go. And trumpets. So now, our ears aren't going to like this. It's perfect. They all sound good. So, we're going to close Audacity, not save anything from there. Now this is where we're going to go to the multi-stream program. And for this, wherever you extracted the zip file, or the zip file for this, we're going to open it up over here. Actually, let me open it up in a different window for you guys, just so I can show you side by side. Okay, I had to make sure my screen was still being recorded. And sorry, it's a long video, but my videos, I like to be detailed. So, we'll eventually go to the SD card afterwards. So I'll put that to the side. So for right now, we're going to go over here to, I saved my music in the music folder, but also the program. So I saved mine in my downloads, so wherever this is at, there should be a build.bat file, a WAV temp and out file. Now the build.bat file is what it's going to create, but I forgot to delete mine, so you probably won't have a build.bat file first. So the WAV file, what I would suggest doing is copying each of these files, and then once you make the copy, we're going to label them the track numbers that we believe they are. So normal should be track 1. So we'll do 1.wave. Copy paste that over to this WAV file. The river, we're going to do copy and paste. And I believe that's going to be 2.wave. Let's see if this works. Underwater, it's going to be 3.wave. WAV is going to be 4. Oh, no, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, so.
It was at this moment that he knew he messed up.
So obviously there's 4 different tracks, but we're going to want to make a duplicate of them because there's that many. So actually, disregard the fact I just said 1 through 4. So let's undo that. Let's undo that. We're going to go back to normal. So normal will be track 1 and track 2. River is going to be track 3 and track 4. 3, 4. And then 5 and 6. And then 7 and 8. So that's my bad. I wasn't thinking, because it did say it needs 8 channels. Now you're probably wondering, why didn't we just leave them as stereo? You probably could. I doubt that it'll work that way. So that's why we left it in mono and panned it to center. Because, I mean, you could test that yourself and see if it works. If it does, definitely leave it down in the comment and I'll pin it to the top of the video. Darn it. No, I meant copy and paste. I've learned to not move stuff and to copy stuff instead. So, now that we've got 8 of those files in here, once we're done with this process, you'll delete these out here because they'll still stay there. But now, with this part open, we're going to, under select channels, you're going to make sure that you choose 8 channels for Coupa-Cape. And you could check the website again later to remind yourself how many channels each track needs. So 8 channels. You're going to want to make sure loop is on. Now this is the part where we're going to open up at least one of the WAV files in BrawlCrate or BrawlBox, just so we can see the amount of samples. It's not going to be the same as seconds or minutes. So that's where we'll put down the number right there. going to go to new, So the total amount of samples is that, where we want it to loop at. So that's where the start loop samples and the end loop samples are going to be. So, best thing I could think of, make sure that that's looped right there. You'll just have to drag this along till you get to where you think the loops are at. That's at 3.168. This is kind of a tedious process. Closest you might be able to get is maybe somewhere in there. Now, okay, so yes, you can drag this out. We could try that and see if it does any difference. Let's see, will it make a difference? Uh, 3.168. Ooh, 3.16. Okay. And then the ending one of that was going to be like right there. Okay, so the best spot would be 153.107. So actually, that's going to change a little bit from what I put earlier. 153.107. 107, because I changed the looping point when we were in Audacity. And apparently that changed again too. Why did that change? 186 to 188. Hold on. What? Okay, so I don't know why I put 186, but we're just going to change the ending samples back to what they were. 188, 0832. So, now that we know the numbers of where it's going to loop at, I want to keep this open for a second while we go back over here to this program, because we're not going to export it through BrawlCrate. We need to put that where it's going to loop. So 153, 107, and then loop at 188, 0832. So after that, where it says output file name, so if I remember, CTGP's file name was CTGP. Okay, so I did have the names up somewhere, wherever they were at. Darn it. You know what? Here, better yet. The website, I think I showed you the website of where the names of each track is. So, here's what I'll just do for right now. Still, I believe it should be over here. So CTGP is going to end up being called STRM. So I'm just going to go ahead. Or no, I forgot. It won't let us copy and paste it, so we'll just erase the word default. And it is case sensitive, that as far as I'm aware. And yes, all of this is only for the normal track. We haven't done the final app yet. So obviously the samples are going to be different. The times that they're going to cut are going to be different too. So, if anything, for right now, if you don't want to speed it up, hence being like this, you could probably just leave the track as is, duplicate it, and just change the last letter into a letter F. And then, voila. So, it's going to do build.bat file. So, it made a build.bat file, so you can go and close that. And when I open this, it's going to go through each section of it. Probably not this fast, depending on the length of the song, but once it's all done, it closes that. It'll get rid of those. These will still be in here, so you'll want to delete them afterwards, but now in the out folder, you'll have this. Now, unless you haven't done this yet, if you want to make these files automatically, when you double click them, open up BrawlCrate or BrawlBox, just right click it, Properties, go to Opens With, hit Change. If you're on Windows 11 like I am, you'll choose a NAP on your PC and choose wherever it's located. And so this we're going to make double sure it's listed properly. It should say 8 channels when we open this up. It says 8 channels. Perfect. And it's got 4 streams. Turn down this volume. Listen to it and see. Oh, wait. I just noticed you guys were listening to the same volume twice. Dang. Stop. Okay. Test out the other streams after we make sure that it loops properly. Which loops our sample does. Obviously, I don't think it's going to play the wub or the trumpet part while testing it through here, but okay, make sure it still works properly. And it does start right there, so perfect. Okay, then you don't need to export anything out of there. So under the out folder, we're going to copy that, go to wherever you have it, and I'm going to paste it. So, later on, now you just do the same process for the final app. Obviously, you just need to speed it up. In order to speed something up in Audacity, the best way, I may have already said this, but just to make sure, just in case I didn't, whenever you have a song in here, once you select it, we'll go up to Effect. Now there's probably a different way you could do this. I think there's a faster way, but the audio quality is not as good. I prefer doing the slower, better quality way. I go to Effect, Pitch and Tempo, Sliding Stretch. And the only things you're going to want to change is the initial tempo change, final tempo change, and the semitones. 10, 10, 1, 1. And then that'll make it faster. Then once you go from there, then that's when you can make modifications. So, other than that, now that we've spent 30 minutes on doing this, because it is a tedious process, I'm going to forgo making a faster final app track for right now, and just leave the, I'm just going to copy the normal track for the final track. I'll make modifications to it later, but anyways, you guys know what to do. So other than that, I'm just going to copy and paste. Obviously when I copy it over, I want to change it to F, but just so I know. Not faster. So we're going to copy these over, and just to make sure, since I don't need these in here now, we're going to do that. Go over to my SD card, CTGP, my stuff, and because I want to make sure that my previous one is saved in here, I want to see the date of it was 129, 1039. Yep, okay. So I just gotta make sure, otherwise if it wasn't, I was gonna make it do a backup of it. Trust me, you want backups for your backups. For your backups. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Yes, I'm gonna replace the file in the destination. Gonna delete the F. Refresh, make sure. So, let's go head over to the Wii and see how close we got on CTGP. Yeah, let me pause this. I'll be right there and see you guys soon.
Before you head over to Mario Kart Wii, look for a file called watercourse.szs. That's the track file for CTGP. If you added that from the no sound trigger zip file from my previous video, go ahead and delete that. Then the new music track should play properly.
I'm just going to show you guys. It's going to be really hard to hear it because I'm whispering right now, but I want to show you what I did to fix it. So on this end, this is what you'll see. And okay, I'm going to go ahead and choose. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it. Actually, I'm going to choose half. Okay, so the setting you're going to want to make sure is that my stuff folder is on. Interesting. I wonder why the screen looked like it was flickering. Okay, it must be my camera. I guess it's my phone and my camera. Okay, and then you'll want to make sure automatic BRSAR patching is turned on. So on, and then my stuff folder is turned on. So just to make sure I was right on that again. Yeah, so as that, press B to save. Then you'll launch the game and we'll check it out. That does not help phone. Phone does not want to focus on a certain part of the screen. What am I saying? I know it works. I just took forever to try to get to that part. Okay, let's hope that you can hear it. I'm going to turn it up by just 1. Hopefully it'll be audible, not too loud. It's kind of hard to hear a little bit. No, it's not a perfect loop like we did on the computer, but hey, it works. Just wait till we get to the next part. I'm horrible at playing automatic now. So it plays that audio. Oh darn it, now I'm going to have to make it bigger. So, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think it worked out pretty well. So, and it only took, I think, since 7 p.m. and it's 1:30 a.m. right now. Well, that took a lot of work. Hopefully you guys have a fun time doing that, and you won't take as long as I did just trying to work on stuff in the background. But anyways, if you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button down below. Let me know you guys want to see me do videos like this more often. Then hit the subscribe button so that you guys can get notified when I do it. Every upload a video, do a live stream. And other than that, I'll make an update if I ever figure out Toad's Factory and all that stuff. So, as always guys, thanks so much for watching my video. Bye.